The breaking news, the pressure was unsurvivable. Minutes ago, the Secret Service Director, Kimberly Cheatle, resigned.
Bless.
Secret Service Director Cheatle never went to the site where former President Donald Trump was nearly assassinated 10 days ago.
No.
Her testimony on Capitol Hill yesterday was anemic, and she was not informed and apparently not too curious, and that came off as unprofessional.
Facts.
And incompetent, as one lawmaker put it. She was not curious enough to prepare for the House oversight hearing. Cheatle was called, again incompetent, and calls for her to be fired were made to her face in that hearing by Democrats and Republicans. Cheatle said she would not quit, but she just did.
Yo, that's crazy, yo. I think she think her job was secure just because of the people them that hire her. Welcome back to Monarch Smart TV, everyone. And if this your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for your boy and turn them notification bell and put them on all so we do not miss a content, because we got the facts, we got the truth. We bring the stuff to you that nobody want to show you. So if you're ready, strap on your seatbelt and get your popcorn, get your chips, get your drinks, get your spliff, get whatever thing you need to get comfy, relax, put your legs up and check out the facts.
I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. I want to go right away to U.S. Congressman Andy Biggs, member of the House Oversight Committee, who was one of those who questioned Cheatle yesterday. Congressman Biggs, first of all, your reaction to the resignation, and then fill us in on what it was like to try to get answers from her.
Well, Harris, good to be with you, and I will tell you, the difficulty is that she should have resigned almost immediately.
Facts, facts, facts.
And she took it 10 days, and it was because she wanted to actually continue in that position. We couldn't figure out why. The right thing was for her to resign. If she wouldn't do it, and it was for the Biden administration to fire her. Yesterday, she didn't want to answer any of our questions. I can't tell you, I asked a number of questions, things like, was he a lone gunman? Was he acting alone? Was the gun up there already? Did he have to carry a gun? Those types of things that I think American people want to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she refused to answer everything. I don't know what's wrong with this lady. I think it's because the people them that hire her and her are close friends. So she thinks she don't have to respond to nothing. But you have to respond to the American people. They want to know. You spending their tax dollars to do what you do.
And she wouldn't answer him. She deferred to the FBI.
I have to cut in because we do have that breaking news statement now from President Biden. I'm glad you're with me, Congressman Biggs, so I can get your first reaction. He's just released a statement, and here's the quote. Jill and I are grateful to Director Kim Cheatle for her decades of public.
What Jill got to do with this? Why is you mentioning your wife anyway? You the president. What's going on here?
Service. The independent review to get to the bottom of what happened on July 13th continues, and I look forward to assessing its conclusions. We all know what happened that day can never happen again, end quote. Now, a couple of curiosities I have about that. Why is Jill included? This is not...
Facts. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yo, it's crazy.
Some sort of a condolence letter to someone after, a loss, a personal loss. I would estimate she's included because the reason she even had that job as director of the United States Secret Service was because of her friendship with the First Lady.
Okay, I knew it was something. That's why she did not care. That's why she was responding like that. That's why she thinking her job was secure, because she and Jill, Biden wife, are friends. Okay, that's why she got this job.
Absolutely right. I agree with you that's why Kim Cheatle became the Secret Service Director. I also think, good grief, what do you have to do to be fired from this administration?
Facts.
We don't know.
The only people that have been fired are, 4 staffers who smoked pot. But you have somebody...
Yo, that's crazy. And you got to understand, when people lose their life and you use the head of security and malfunction is because of your mistake, you have to go. I don't know what you was waiting for, but just because the president's wife hired you, you thinking your job is secure. But with the people, you got to understand that. And you come to Congress with no answers for the people. Nothing. Nothing at all. You was crazy.
Somebody who almost gets the former president of the United States killed, and does get an individual killed and other people wounded,
Facts.
and you don't get fired. What you get is a letter saying, "Gee, we're sorry to see you go," kind of thing. I'm in.
That's right, yo. That's crazy. They ain't even fire her. It was so much pressure coming from both sides, the left and the right. Left her no choice. I don't even think Biden them fire her. She just had to go because of the pressure.
Incensed as much by the failure of the Biden administration at the very top, once again, to signal to the American people that he cares about the American people more than he cares about himself. And I think this letter reflects more personal care than it does patriotic care.
Facts.
I know, and I invite our audience to watch this to the very end, because you are in what we're about to show now. It is kind of a roundup of some of the hottest moments yesterday. We carried it stem to stern the hearing during this hour on the Faulkner
let's see
Focus. Kimberly Cheatle's resignation, of course, follows that contentious House oversight hearing that you were part of yesterday. Let's take a watch.
Have you visited the site?
No, I have not.
9 days and you have not visited the site.
That's what I'm saying.
You should have been there that night. Would you?
Facts. As soon as it happened, you got to understand, people lost their life. 2 others was in critical condition. The former president got shot in the ears, and you haven't been there and used the head of security? You should be ashamed of yourself.
Do you agree that this is the most serious security lapse since President Reagan was shot in 1981 of the Secret Service?
Yes, sir, I would.
Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th, yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of today. You're just being completely dishonest.
Would you have tendered your resignation if he had been killed?
You don't got no answers for that? That's what I'm saying. Would you resign if Trump had died? You probably wouldn't, because of your friends. Probably that was what's supposed to happen. He was supposed to die.
I think that I've admitted that I've taken accountability and will take responsibility.
As someone who said the buck stops with me, I'm going to stay in my job. I'm going to give the answers to the American people, and I know what happened. Except for you're not going to tell us. When you sit here and repeatedly tell people, hey, I have to wait, as it frustrated everybody on this committee, guess what? It undermines your credibility.
Facts.
You know, it's very rare that we see these days Democrats and Republicans agreeing, and everybody to a person, nearly. I mean, we didn't hear from every single person on this topic. Some were talking gun control, the Democrats. But for the most part, they agreed that it was time for this woman to go.
Yeah, you know, Harris, we rarely get that kind of unanimity on that committee. We fight like cats and dogs because we're dealing with serious issues. Mm-hmm. But everybody understands the gravity of what happened and her utter failure. Her failure to actually even go to the site.
Facts.
Her failure to actually give us answers that were legitimate, that she could give without giving away the investigation.
Facts.
She didn't want to do any of that stuff. And she kept saying, I need to be held accountable. The buck stops with me. Well, the accountability finally hit. She finally resigned.
You had an uncurious person in that position. The buck stops with her. She didn't know what dollar amount the buck was. Is it really just a buck? No, it was, and you couldn't even put a value on the amount of responsibility that had been dumped on her. And she came ill prepared. I want to get this in. Former President Donald Trump has just released a statement.
Okay.
And here's part of that.
Let's hear
it's
it.
a quote. She never gave me proper protection.
Facts.
So I ended up having to take a bullet for democracy.
Facts.
End quote. He told Fox News Digital, again a quote, many requests were made by on-site Secret Service for more
that?
people, always with a turn down or no response. And he went on to say, I have the biggest crowds in history and they should be treated accordingly.
You hear that, yo? Trump was asking for a lot more security every time, and she refused to give him that security. It's crazy. And remember, she was hired by the Bidens. You feel me? So who knows if Biden's them telling her, yo, don't give him no more security. We don't care what happened to him. Because, you know, they hate Trump. And she was hired because she and Jill was best of buddies.
Our nation's 45th president, Donald Trump, however, again said big improvements have been made over the last week. So we've heard a little bit about that.
So you're telling me the dude have to take a bullet before y'all decided to give him the security that he really needs? You should not be in your job.
But I mean, it really wasn't even on her watch because she couldn't tell you any changes, really. She said, well, I've made some changes, but she didn't give any detail. I questioned whether or not she could even give us an accounting of what was changing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, what we saw, for instance, at the RNC, you saw a completely different team, a team of big, burly guys who were tall as the president is, so they could actually provide that versus, I'm not trying to denigrate the immediate detail that was there, but I mean, physically, they were very different. I mean, and that's got to be part of the protection detail, right? I mean, and
Yo, that's facts, yo. On that day, Trump was taller than every Secret Service that's securing him. You had some midget females up there. They probably like 5 feet tall. I noticed when Trump stand up, he was way taller than all of them. So they had to put their hands up trying to protect his head. What type of Secret Service is this? What type of people did they send to protect Trump? This was crazy. This was all they planned, yo.
she continued to emphasize she's a DEI type of director. And when you place DEI over merit, you're going to sometimes have bad mistakes. And she has a no-fail mission at the Secret Service to protect these.
What was this woman's job before Jill and Biden gave her this job? Was she a CIA? Was she a FBI? Was she a police? Do she got any type of law enforcement in her training, in her cranium? Do she? Don't tell me they take somebody from around the desk, a office person, and just throw her to become the Secret Service top person without no proper training. There is no way this woman got training if she left Trump unsecure, where that shooter could have went up on top of that roof and actually shot Trump.
Individuals, and she utterly failed, and that's because I think philosophically she didn't get the full measure of the job.
You know, I'm glad that you and I have conversations on the air a lot because I can ask this question, and I know that you know I'll probably ask something like this. When you say DEI, you know, you get some people's ire up about that because she is a woman, but the point you're making is her last job was CEO for Pepsi.
What?
And while it can be a delicious drink, particularly with a slice of lime,
what?
I don't know if that was current enough experience in the Secret Service, for which she served a couple of decades, to be applicable to what was called upon her to lead at this time.
Yo, my good people, you hear? The same thing that I was worrying about came to light. She was the CEO of Pepsi, of a soft drink, meaning she have no type of law enforcement training in her skin, in her genes at all. So they just took her from Pepsi and gave her a Secret Service job to protect the most powerfulest people in the world. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. You see, that's why Biden them should never ever be in charge of this country, because all they do is put friends in position that are not qualified. This is crazy. Yo, I don't even need to go no further. This is insane. I'm glad it's over with her. I'm glad she finally resigned. She was going to get fired anyway. Either when Trump get into office, she was going to get fired. So she might as well just resign now. You feel me? Because even when the facts come back, they going to find out even more. It's crazy and insane. Make sure everybody be safe out there, man. Peace and love. And we up out of here.